Hello class. For math today, we're going to start off with counting. Now let's try not using your counting chart. So don't take it out. We're going to try to see if we can do it just by remembering our counting pattern. We're going to be counting even numbers. So let's say our pattern for even numbers. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I am going to give you a quick peek because our counting today is in the 100 to 200 chart. We're going to start with 102 and we're going to go to 150. But we're not going to use the chart. All right, so I better stand this way so you can't see my chart. In fact, I will stand here and we will look at the pattern. Okay, but just the pattern to remind us what digit is going to be in the ones column. All right, we're going to start with 102. Ready? Begin. 102, 104, 106, 108, 110. Did you catch that? 112, 114, 116, 118, 120, 122, 124, 126, 128, 130, 132, 134, 136, 138, 140, 142, 144, 146, 148, 150. I hope you kept up with me. How'd you do? Without looking at our chart. Nice job. All right, next we're going to go backwards. So why don't you go ahead and take out your chart. Unless you want a real big challenge, I think you can do it. But if you want to take out your chart, go in your binder, take out your 100 to 200 chart. We're going to start with 200 and going to go backwards to 152. Again, counting by twos. Begin. 200, 198, 196, 194, 192, 190, 188, 186, 184, 182, 180, 178, 176, 174, 172, 170, 168, 166, 164, 162, 160, 158, 156, 154. I think that's where we are going to stop. Nope, we're going to stop at 152. One more, 152. Well, how'd you do? Well, if you didn't use your chart, maybe you were able to use mine, or maybe you were able to do it even if I didn't have my chart up. So counting by twos, forwards or backwards, the ones column always shows that pattern. All right, close your binders. We're going to do some counting by tens without looking at the charts. We're going to start with 10 and we're going to go to 50. Now counting by tens is the same thing as counting with what coin? That's right, a dime. Let's say, I'm going to grab a dime here. Let's say our poem for a dime. Dime, dime, little and thin, I remember you're worth 10. All right, so we're going to start with 10 and going to go to 50. Ready? Begin. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's keep going to 80, 60, 70, 80. Now we're going to go backwards by ones. When we're counting by ones, we're counting what coin? Penny. Let's say the poem for penny. Penny, penny, easily spent, copper brown and worth 1 cent. Okay, so now we're going to count backwards from 89 to 80. Ready? Begin. 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80. Very good. Speaking of coins, I have some money here on the floor. Now, I'm going to pretend that I cannot move this money, just like it is on your paper. Why would I want to move it? Well, look, here's the big quarters, and here's a nickel, but then there's a dime. And one of our rules for counting money is the first step is you have to put them in order where they're worth the most to worth the least. But when it's on your paper, you can't move them like I could move them this. So I'm going to show you a trick. I have some numbers over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to number them. And after we number them, then we will know how to be able to count them, the one that's worth the most and ending with the one that's worth the least. So obviously we know that to start off with, they are right. So this quarter gets a 1 and this quarter gets a 2. Let's say our poem for a quarter. Quarter, quarter, big and bold, you're worth 25, I'm told. Remember, it's a picture of George Washington on the front, and on the back, it could be the eagle, or if it's a state quarter, then they are all different on the back, but they're all worth 25 cents. Now is where it gets tricky. So which one of the coins in my top row is worth the most, next most? All right, the dime. Well, I'm not going to move it. I'm just going to take my 3 and put my 3 over here. Then what? Then there's a tie. There's a tie for the nickels. So they will get numbers 4 and 5. And then there's a tie for the pennies. So they will get numbers 6 and 7. So some of you might be able to figure it out just by jumping around with your eyes. But if you need to, you can number them, and that will help you make sure that you're counting them, starting with the one that is worth the most, and the one that is ending with the one that is worth the least. Okay, here we go. Count with me. 25, 50, 60. Jump to a nickel. 65. 70, 71, 72. All right, let's do the same on my bottom row here. Okay, well, the quarter is first again. Now, which one is next? The dime. So the dime gets the 2. The nickel gets the 3. And then there's a tie for 4. So one penny gets a 4 and another penny gets a 5. Begin with the quarter. Oh, see, here's a state quarter, so this is Florida. See how the back of this quarter is different from that quarter? But the fronts are the same. And they're all worth 25 cents. They're all called quarters. All right, so we start with this one. This is worth what? 25, 35. When we jump from a 25 to 10 and add 10, all that changes is the tens column. 25, 35, add 5, 40, 41, 42 cents. Okay, so on your paper today, they're not out of order, but once in a while you'll have a paper when they are out of order. Before we get to our paper today, I'm going to ask you some story problems. Listen carefully to the information. Alex's mother made 7 hot dogs, 5 hamburgers, and 8 ears of corn for supper. How many pieces of meat did his mother make? So, there's information that we don't need. We don't need to know about the corn to be able to figure out our story problem. She made 7 hot dogs and 5 hamburgers. The 8 ears of corn we don't need to know. So our sentence is, say it with me, 7 plus 5 equals 12. All right, here we go. Let's do another one. Tanya read 8 books for the reading contest. Alex read 5 books. Tina read 2 more books than Tanya. How many books did Tina read? Okay, this story problem is a little bit involved. Let's back up and review some of the facts that they told us. Tanya read 8 books. In fact, there's a step in here that we have to do. So I'm going to actually write my numbers down instead of us just doing this in our mind today. So Tanya read 8 books. So on my paper here, I'm going to write Tanya 8, and then it says Alex read 5. I'm going to put Alex 5, and then it says that Tina read 2 more than Tanya. Well, that doesn't give me a number. It's 2 more than Tanya. Okay, well, let's figure out what that number is. So Tanya read 8, and Tina read 2 more than her. So she read what? She must have read 10. The question is, how many books did Tina read? Wow, you just did a math problem in your head. To write it out, it would be 8, Tanya's 8, plus 2, and then we know that that equals 10. So you have to really read story problems carefully to see exactly what they're asking. The information that Alex read 5 wasn't needed in this story. The pet store had 3 parrots, 2 puppies, and 4 canaries. How many birds did the pet store have? So what wasn't needed? The number of dogs. There were 3 parrots and 4 canaries. So our sentence is 3 plus 4 equals 7. All right. I have 2 math problems on the board. And because of this square here, we know that it's a carrying problem. First, we add in our ones column. 10s to the left, 1s to the right. If it still helps you to draw a line and write 10s and 1s, that is fine. Do the addition with me. 4 plus 7 equals 11. But you cannot put an 11 here. You cannot put 2 digits in the ones column. It's like musical chairs. Some money is out. And the digit in the tens column is out, which is this one. So this one comes over to the tens column. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 is 8, 81. We do this one the same. 10s to the left, 1s to the right. 8 plus 4 is 12. We cannot put a 12 here. So the 1 is in the tens column. So the 1 gets carried to the tens column. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 5 is 8, 82. Okay, you've been doing some activities like this on your math paper, so I hope that you had no problems with them. But if you just needed a quick review, I hope that helped. In my next video, I will go over your workbook page with you, and you do need to make sure that you watch it because you need to know what the combinations are on page 284, and I will give you those. I'll be right back.